some proof, because it did transpire that he didn't actually delete the one about what was it?
If you spell Kiev with Kiev, you're gay.
He didn't actually delete that. It transpired. It just wasn't coming up in the search because I think he put quotation marks on it. However, what is interesting, if we look on Millennial Woes' channel, I just stumbled on this. Obviously, I'm revealing quite how boring I am. Here we have in the 13th of the 5th, 2022, Endeavour being sassy again.
Zelensky is 2022's version of Greta Thunberg.
Okay, Endeavour, that's nice. Let's go there. Ooh, message doesn't exist. Why would you delete that, Endeavour? Because as I say, you're not going to get in trouble for that. This is a man covering his fucking tracks. This is a guilty man. You're showing signs of guilt in this because it's innocuous. It's a sassy comment. Like, if you said something that was a bit close to the fucking line, all right, we can understand that. But that observation there, this is how much of a fucking weasel you are and a snake you are. You're in damage limitation mode. And why are you in damage limitation mode? I suggest there's guilt there. So this is something else just to go onto the little...
For the record, you're covering your tracks on even the most innocuous statements.
This shows guilt, pal. Cleaning house. Why might that be?
So I gave him an opportunity, as you can see in this tweet here, to reflect and to express some humility and to say, yeah, do you know what, I was kind of caught up in the sort of inverse NPCism, and I don't know, I was subjected to propaganda, or I was living in Russia and I was trying to impress some people or whatever else. I gave him that opportunity and he blocked me. No response, straight to block. Is that a fair question? I think it is. I'm giving him the right reply before all of this. So I find that interesting. I find it doubly interesting that it now transpires that he's cleaning house of even the most innocuous kind of statements like that. He's trying to cover his tracks. This shows guilt. This shows complicity. This shows guilt to me. This shows fear. Why is there fear, mate? You're allowed to say that Zelensky's Greta or something. Do you know what I mean? It's okay, whatever. It's a very innocuous thing to delete like that. So why are you doing it? Because you've moved back to Canada? Are you that much of a scared little man like Morgoth? Well, it's possible, I suppose. I think it's because something's gone on that you're worried about. Isn't it interesting that this is basically the same MO as Morgoth? The same attempted memory holding MO. It's more stupid because, you know, and I suppose he probably doesn't realise that if people quote something, then that remains on something like Telegram. I mean, I didn't know that. So he probably thought, yeah, let's just clean up. Because there's only 2 entries now that come up for Ukraine. If you go on his Telegram, which, you know, he's very active on, he's got 4,440 subscribers. That's a big Telegram account. You know, there's you type in Putin, there's nothing. So this guy, this new cyclically addicted guy who's, you know, lived in Russia and all the rest of it, he's never once mentioned the word Putin on his Telegram. Or has he fucking deleted it? What else have you deleted? I mean, Ukraine comes up twice, and there's one saying, hey, I'm not going to say much about Ukraine, and that was literally on the day of the invasion. And then there's one extra, which is he only mentions it via extension. And he says, like, oh, you know, everyone's blaming who they want to blame and blah, blah, blah. It's not really relevant. So there's no mention of the conflict that he's totally against, you know, in 4 years. This guy is a fucking liar. He's not totally against the Ukrainian invasion. Not at all. He's just covering his tracks about it. If you were against it, Endeavour, you would fucking talk about it. But here you go, you've cleaned house, and there's no mention of Putin anywhere. He's gone. Why is he gone? That's weird. Are you telling me you've never mentioned Putin on your Telegram? Zelensky. Let's type in Zelensky. Oh, no mention. But there was at least one. And the point is here, look, I mean, this is just one. But if you're going to delete something as innocuous, something as inane, just this inane, sassy quip, what else have you deleted? Do you know what I mean? And again, this just shows guilt. This just shows fear. And like, you know, this is what happens, isn't it? When people have guilt, they start to exhibit fear. Because, you know, the two things are connected. They know that they're guilty and they're scared about the consequences.
And I worry. And I worry. And I worry. Because I've been criticized for like not saying enough about Putin or not saying enough about Ukraine because I don't really know very much about that part of the world. But I get the impression we're being caught in a vice here.
The two things are connected. They know that they're guilty and they're scared about the consequences. Now, you know, you can't necessarily just take this information and say, yes, he's been the FSB's connect. I mean, this is just a theory. This is a possibility. But when you start to piece these facts together and you look at Morgoth's behaviour and you see that it correlates. Oh, I never expressed an opinion. No. Trying to fucking memory hole it. And you both did the same kind of content. You both did the same kind of NLP content. I mean, Morgoth ran with it. I mean, he was better with it, I would say. You know, because he's got the sort of noble savage, and he's the noble savage LARP that impresses all these dissident right fucking neckbeards, you know, whatever. So he kind of embedded the Russian narrative in I would say, a more sophisticated way. I think he's got the parasocial collateral to do that. You don't really. So you can see with his winter campaign and all the rest of it, I mean, that was clearly a premeditated attempt to link funding the defense of Ukraine with, you know, personal pain, like, I mean, literally old people dying, children crying in the cold as their fingers go numb, snot running down their faces. Maybe the Ukraine flags and the BLM will be stitched together and kiss a scarf and keep them warm. Fucking all the rest of it. A corrupt gangster state and the other side of Europe's caused this. But he's never expressed an opinion on the war. And he worries because I didn't say much about Ukraine. Fucking liar. You said a lot, pal. And you said it in this indirect left-hand path NLP fashion. And your handler here, potentially, is cleaning house because he's moved back to the farm. What the fuck is in your emails? Do you know what I mean? Are you passing on all these details, Endeavour? Is this what it is? Nothing more than that, I shouldn't have thought. You just tell people that get them an Aero account and give me the details, and I'll pass them on. That's all it is. Simple, really, isn't it? Speculation, in light of this kind of information, I think is quite credible. Of course, his defence to all this will be,
Oh, well, I was in Russia and I really wanted to speak freely, but I had to be really careful.
And it's like, well, mate, you did propaganda, absolute naked NLP-like propaganda against the state of Ukraine and against people in the West feeling solidarity with Ukraine. And there is no way on God's earth anyone can watch that video from, what was it called, the postmodern tyranny. If you've got half a fucking brain, you understand how these things work. That man set up all these yes ladders. He fucking stacked it. He bundled it in with all the things his audience despise. That was fucking NLP propaganda. So if you want to say, well, I was just being quiet because, I had to watch what I said, that's fucking bullshit. Why on April the 3rd did you go on the stream in the wake of the Bucha massacre and stream about fucking Wag the Dog with Morgoth? I mean, I don't fucking need to labour these points. It's obvious you're a little fake neutral fucking zigger. And the other point is, which I really don't suppose I have to make here, but if he tries to come and say, oh yeah, but I was totally against it, I just couldn't say anything. A, the points I've just made there, he's made literal propaganda inarguable. propaganda against it. He's within the Confederation of Grift, which is all a fucking Russian asset. When has he ever challenged any of them on a stream about any of this shit? I mean, it's just bullshit. He isn't totally against it at all. He's just worried for himself. Because he's just a typical Confederation of Grift person who's just like interested in himself. Got his fucking crypto account wide open, isn't he? Hey, if you want to send me some money, here's my Binance account. Yeah, who sent you that? Who sent you some money after the fucking 27th of April, after you did that clever little stream, the Postmodern Tyranny, which got 51,000 views on YouTube? I wonder. This is probably why you're shitting yourself now and going around cleaning house. Like I say, if one's been deleted and you can find one, and you only can find it because it's got a quote, God knows what else you've deleted. But in no point in all this time of being totally against it, and suddenly I'm unstifled because I'm not in Russia anymore. Well, okay, mate. Now you can start talking about the Bucha massacre, which you helped cover up with Morgoth. Now you can start talking about all these war crimes, which the dissident right refused to ever talk about and constantly obfuscate. Now you could talk about the electricity situation. Now you could talk about any of it. No, you don't. The only times you do, you'll go, oh my God, cringe. Putin's not really based, guys. You're a fucking wanker, mate. You're full of shit. You're a liar. You've been caught out lying, and now you're covering your fucking tracks. You don't give a flying fuck about Ukraine. Now I'm totally against it. That's a lie. It is clearly, inarguably, a lie, because if someone is totally against something, I actually had a look. I can't really bother to put it on the screen here, but I put in like BLM, LGBT, COVID. I put in all the things that you like, migration, all these like key points which you are no doubt totally against. And what do you get? You get page after fucking page of links come up. Totally against the invasion of Ukraine. Fuck all about any of the war crimes. Fuck all about any of the human suffering that Russia have brought on the fucking Ukrainian people. You are a fucking liar. Why are you lying, Endeavour? Why are you covering your tracks? Why have you never challenged Morgoth on his fucking years of fake neutral fucking Russian active measures? Because you're fucking part of it, aren't you? Well, the chickens are going to come home to roost. That's all I can fucking say. And now you've just started cleaning house. You know, and none of these terms come up, do they? You know, you've never mentioned Putin on your Telegram, which you've been on. You've been on Telegram for fucking years. Got 4,400 subs. That's a big account. You know what I mean, mate? You are so transparent. And I just think you're a little piece of this jigsaw. And I think your behaviour mirroring Morgoth's, you know, worrying. He's openly said, oh, I worry, when he went to see Frody the Toady. Within 2 minutes, came straight out of it. Well, I worry, because I didn't say much about Ukraine. You know, again, because I didn't say much about Ukraine. This is just a way for him to fucking, you know, finesse his bullshit. Because as I've said many times, this guy said fucking plenty about Ukraine, as well he knows. But I didn't say much. This is the line, isn't it? No, you fucking liar. All you fucking liars, you see, as I've said many times, you want to be a fucking zigger, want to be a propagandist, be open, state your position. I don't really think people can fault you. I mean, they can fault your logic and everything else and the position itself. But essentially, I give anyone, you have the right to form an opinion on what you want. But you don't have the fucking right to do this left-hand path fucking fake neutral NLP bullshit like the likes of you two did. And I think that you are a connect. And that's why I think you've cleaned house. You've gone back to the fucking West now and you're worried for yourself and you're trying to cover your tracks. And as I say, I think it's very interesting that Morgoth exhibits similar behaviour now. I don't know. I have no idea why people accuse me as I barely express an opinion. Look, you fucking liar. And I can see why a fucking pair of you would worry. Because I think you're both guilty. And you know, I think you ziggers, you propagandists, like I think you've been very frivolous. I think you've been reckless. And I've spoken to one person directly about this, and I actually recorded a video, and then I thought, you know what, I'm not going to fucking publish this. Why should I? And it's just a prediction. So yeah, I can see why you're fucking worried, lads. And I think your worries This is why they should just both fuck off to Russia, you know. The problem with fucking Laughing Boy here,
Endeavour?
you kind of soiled yourself now, haven't you? Because now you fucking said you're against the Rush. You're stuck between two stools now. Like, you can't really go back there. Well, yeah. You're fucking... This is it. You can't serve two masters, like. So I don't know what you should fucking do. I think Morgoth should fuck off to Russia. Maybe China. I mean, you go to Iran if you want, but can't see it. Russia or China, maybe China, but you know what fucking fish out of water that'd be. Christ. Probably your best bet, mate. China, in all fairness, in the long run. You imagine him trying to learn fucking Mandarin. Christ. Doesn't even bear thinking about. Well, you know, there's something for you to get stuck in, you know, on your walks when you're walking up a hill and getting fucking exhausted after 5 minutes. You know, maybe take an audio book in fucking Mandarin. All the best.